Okay, welcome to our weekly team training for Team Pay It Forward. I am Crystal Milligan, the founder of Team Pay It Forward, and I am super excited to be talking to you guys this week. We have a special guest on tonight. She's on our team as well, and she actually just joined at the very end of August, like the last few days of August. And so she's been a coach for just maybe like 2.5 months now, if you count it, not even 2.5 months now. And she has been having great success. And whenever we have new coaches come on board, there's always lots of fears and lots of questions, of course, and a lot of stuff that takes some time to get through. And a lot of it is focused on mindset, and a lot of it is focused on overcoming your fears, or basically kind of getting over yourself. And I think that, actually, I know that Heather has done a great job at this, that she has basically like sprinted right out of the gates and just not even held herself back. She hasn't, focused on what people will say or what they'll think or anything like that. She's just focused on moving forward and having success, having her non-negotiables, and knowing exactly what she wants to accomplish and move forward. And so I wanted to get her on here so she could share some of that with you, of how she has been making that happen, the mindset that she has, and the tips that she, basically any tips of how she's been doing this and making it happen, so that you guys can emulate that, because we always say success leaves clues. And so we want to know how people get this done and how it happens. And it's always great to hear it from other people, how things are happening, because I could tell, the team or my coaches till I'm blue in the face, this is how you do it, and this is what you do, and da 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 da. But it's often when somebody else says it that it really clicks for some reason. So that's why I love having people on here for you guys to really learn from and grasp from. So where Heather's at right now, like I said, she's barely been a coach for 2.5 months, and she's already secured her success starters in the bag. So she's earned her free ticket to Summit, and that means that she's hit Success Club 5 or above every single month that she's been a coach. So that means she's helping at least 3 people every single month that she's been a coach. And that is one of the goals, to really, truly, consistently move your business forward. Hitting Success Club is a marker to know that you are growing your business. That's essentially what it is. And so she has just earned that. And then she's actually now has all the coaches that she needs for Diamond. Of course, that doesn't mean she's stopping now, but she's already built a team of coaches that she needs to hit Diamond. And now she just needs her 2 Emeralds, which are not very far away at all. So, I wanted her to be on here to share some things with you and kind of give you insight into what she's doing and how she's making it work for her. So Heather, if you could just start out basically kind of why you started coaching, and what your motivation is, and kind of like what your why is, like a little bit of your story, that would be awesome, just to kick it off with that.
Okay. Hi, guys. Can you see me? Yeah?
Just took your picture off somehow. I don't know where it went.
There we go. Wait, back. Yikes. I don't know what happened.
Maybe when you touch the mute. There you are. There you are. You're good now.
Okay. Hi, guys. So I'm Heather. I have 2 kids. Brooklyn is 2 years old, and Nicholas is just turned 5 months. So I have been working in the same job for like 15 years. I work in a restaurant. It's okay, but nothing that I want to keep doing for much longer, especially now that I have kids. So I was able to, I met Crystal, and I was watching her over this whole time I was pregnant, and just got really interested in what it is that she was doing, and like super excited. And I gained a ton of weight when I was pregnant, and I wanted to lose the weight. For me, it's really hard sometimes to stick with things that I don't necessarily want to do all the time. So I decided the best thing for me was to be a coach. That way I could have the accountability. I could get my workouts done. And at the same time, I could start building a business and be able to contribute to my family and be able to stay home with my kids. So that's what got me started along this journey.
Okay, so I want to just dive right in, basically, because I know, like, when we've talked about it, you're like, it's not a big deal. Like, you just ask people if they want to sign on for the discount, and that's how you do it. And it's like, why are people so intimidated by this, or why are people so overwhelmed by it? Because often the whole inviting to the coach opportunity or trying to get coaches is one of the things that seems to be the most scary to a lot of new coaches. And so I would love to hear, one, your mindset on why that's not so scary to you, and two, how you go about doing it.
So at first, are we there? I think we're frozen.
We're good. I can see you and hear you.
So at first, I wasn't really intimidated by it. I was really excited, but at the same time, I was really curious as to how it was going to work. And so I keep trying to keep in my head, everything that, I learned, that organically will happen. Just keep sharing the story, and, sooner or later things would happen. So what I do is, when I've been sharing my story, and sure enough, people just keep like, I find that people that I wouldn't even think to invite or think to approach are the people that are contacting me. A lot of people that I would never expect to be interested in it are either already doing it or they're totally interested in it. And you'd be surprised. I was surprised to find how many people I think I'm kind of friends with, or, I haven't seen in a really long time, that were so happy to reach out to me and so happy to hear everything I have to say. And, felt comfortable around me. I was really surprised at how many people felt that way. I didn't realize. So basically what I do is, when somebody tells me that they're interested, I use, I take some from the script that we have, some of the scripts that we have, and then I kind of make it my own, and I send them all the information. And then what I do is, when they, tell me that they're interested, I say to them, okay, well, there's one of two ways that you can do this. You can either go to my website and you can sign up for whatever products you like, or the best way for you to do it would be to sign up as a discount coach. And I make sure that I tell them that it's for discount purposes only, because that way I don't want to scare them off. Because some people will say, you know what, I don't have time for that. I have 2 kids. I have a full-time job. I'm not interested in doing all that. And I don't want them to feel the pressure of that. Mm-hmm. But I've also noticed that a lot of people, once they get interested in it and once they start doing it, they realize that they want to help other people. If not just for the discount themselves, they're still going to be able to help somebody else reach the same goals that they are. And it's fun. So I've actually found that most people really don't see a problem with doing it that way. There's a couple of people that I actually didn't even approach that way, just because they were a lot older and I just didn't feel that maybe they'd really be interested in it. But out of my, I think I have 8 coaches and 2 that I enrolled today that I'm waiting for it to go through. One of them is a definite business builder. The rest of them I've signed up for discount purposes only.
Right. And so how is it to the point of, like, can you share just a little bit about, I mean, obviously, it makes sense to me, but thinking like, obviously as a new coach, how mindset wise, what are you thinking? Like, so to put the discount to them, how are you making it sound like, so it's not like, can you give us a little bit more details as far as like how you're going about, like, with the whole invitation process? Like, you're saying these people are reaching out to you, is it only because of your posting, or are you inviting them initially and saying, hey, I saw that you've been commenting on my posts and I'd love to have you join me in this, or like, how's that going about?
So I noticed I'm getting a lot, like I said, I'm using the products and I'm doing the workouts and I'm doing everything I'm supposed to every day. And I noticed the more I'm doing that and the more I'm posting about my story and my success with it, the more feedback I'm getting. So I did notice that, in the beginning I was posting it and a lot of people probably were like, what's all this posting that Heather's doing? She was never doing this before. So they probably, weren't really that sure about it. So I wasn't getting as much. I did get some people that, that were close to me that know, you know, if I say it's working really well for me, then it probably is. But the people that I'm not that close to, it took them a little bit longer. So I'm noticing now that I'm, you know, what do you call that? Being a product of the product, that I'm, a lot more people are just responding. Like today, I put out a post that was, I said, I had a picture of my Shakeology, and then I said, woohoo, I finally did it, 30 pounds down. I have 20 left to go. Who's in with me? And all of a sudden my private messages were like blowing up. And they were like, I literally got one from a man who owns like a landscaping business. Another one from a girl probably in her early 30s who's pretty overweight. And then another from mom, and another just from just a random girl in her late 30s, single, but only wants to lose about 15 pounds. So they were like completely random posts, messages from totally different people, all because they had seen the success and they've been watching my posts little by little over the past 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Which is exactly why consistency is so important. So like the things that we tell you to do, guys, like a lot of times people think like, oh my gosh, I have to do this or this outrageous thing or this, or what's the secret to the success? And here it is. Heather's basically saying, oh, I followed the 3 vital behaviors, the fact that I'm inviting, I'm being proof that the products work, and I'm doing my personal development. I'm following those vital behaviors. I'm doing my workouts every day. I'm drinking, not every day, but like most days. And I'm drinking my Shakeology, and I'm sharing my story consistently. And Heather has a great way of doing it. So she's not like Beachbody, Beachbody, Beachbody. She's very much branding herself. And even to the point where she said, like, if you went and looked at her page, the post that she just talked about, she's referring to, sure, she has her Shakeology shaker cup with her, but she's not like hashtagging, or maybe you did, I don't know, but like I know you did this a little bit in the very beginning, but like she's not like hashtagging Shakeology, hashtag Beachbody coach, hashtag 21 day fix, like all that kind of stuff. She's just saying like, oh my gosh, 20 pounds down, blah, blah, blah. She didn't say anything about I'm a Beachbody coach, join my Beachbody group, or blah, 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 blah. She's branding herself. She's sharing her own success. And that's how she's attracting people. It's that recruiting and that attraction marketing. And that's why we tell you what to do and to do it consistently, because it does work. The biggest thing is too, is like she's not held back by fear, right? So she's not thinking like, oh no, what are people going to think about me if I say that I lost 30 pounds or whatever? Or, oh no, what are people going to think about me if I'm telling them I'm doing Shakeology, or if I share with them whatever else? No, she's like, this stuff is rad. It works. Heck yeah, I want to share it with people. It's the same mindset as far as like, you just found a clothing store that you're obsessed with. Like, I love this clothing store called No Rest for Bridget where I live. And I tell people all the time about it because I think it's amazing for like these whole comfortable yoga-esque type clothing or whatever. I share the heck out of that, and I don't get a kickback at all from it. Why wouldn't you share this? This is exactly what we're doing. Okay, so did you have any fears coming into this? And like, if you did, how'd you overcome them?
Okay, so I had some fears about, one of my biggest fears was like, let me see, I wanted people to not think that I was just on there trying to sell them something. I wanted people to really believe that I was really happy doing what I was doing, that I was really doing something that works, something that I believe. That was a big thing. Other thing was I fear rejection. I was like, God, I don't want to send, like, what are they going to say? Like, I post this thing on here, they're like, oh, it's Heather, posting this workout thing or this, I just was nervous. I didn't want people to judge what I was doing. And surprisingly, like I said before, it's amazing how people respond to you. At first I was like, looking at posts that like maybe Crystal does, or posts that I see other coaches do, coaches that maybe worked out a lot before and always posted videos of their workouts and things like that. And I was like, I just don't feel like that is me. I don't feel like that's something that, that people expect to see from me, and I really didn't want to be fake. But at the same time, I wanted to have them see my progress, and I wanted to encourage them and have them see me actually doing the work. And so it was kind of a fine line with me. That was a little bit of a fear for me. Another fear, the rejection was a huge thing. And I've had some people say to me, you know what, I'm just not interested right at this time. And that's fine. That's okay. No big deal. I've had a few people say the same thing, and just I've had them send me another message telling me that they were interested. So, a lot of people, it's just kind of maybe the timing, or they're just not ready, or they're just curious and they kind of just want to see. And you know what? They might be shy and nervous to post that too. Like you said, today, just to even put, 30 pounds down, like, I'm proud of it, but I also don't want to seem like I'm bragging to people, but I want people to know, wow, oh my gosh, I just lost 30 pounds. Like, I'm not saying this to brag to you or put it in your face. I'm saying this to you because if you want to lose 30 pounds, this is how you can do it. And like I said, sure enough, I was amazed. My phone's been ringing off the hook.
Right. That's the way, like, when you share your story, you have to think of it like, okay, everyone always says how they come into this business and they're like, I just want to help people. I really want to help people. I love helping people. I want to pay it forward, blah, blah, blah. And people say that all the time. And so the only way you're going to help people is if people know what you're doing, so you can't help anybody if you're not sharing about it. You can't help anybody if you're not inviting them to it. You can't help anybody if you're not talking about this. I always use that analogy of like, inviting to a party. So when you're a new coach, if you were going to hold a party, who would probably come? Sure, your mom would show up, or your best friend would show up, or, the people that already are in your inner circle, like that know, like, and trust you. So those are typically, most often, like the people that become our first customers. But then we have to actually start reaching out, and we have to actually start putting it out there to other people. And so it's like the same thing. Like, if you didn't invite anybody to your party, like I said, yeah, sure, your best friend and your mom might show up, but nobody else is just going to invite themselves to your party. So if you want someone to join your party, you have to invite them. And guess what? If everyone can't make it, are you going to like cry about it? Probably not. No, it's okay, because maybe someone else has other plans, or maybe they can't make it at that time for some reason, or whatever. And that's okay. So it's the same thing as far as like with this, that you have to understand that, okay, if I tell somebody about my favorite store, but it's not necessarily for them, or they don't have the money to go buy the, clothes at my favorite store right now, or something like that, do I care? No, that's okay, whatever. So it's the same thing with this business. If they don't have the money right now, say, okay, I'd love to invite you to my free group. We do these once a month, and I'd love to include you in that, just to help you out. And like, what are your goals right now, whatever, and keep talking to them, because we are trying to help them no matter what. Or like, oh, okay, well, do you think you'd be able to save that up by next month? Because I run one of these groups every single month, and I'd love to help you achieve X, Y, and Z, whatever they told you. So it's not taking it personally. Like, if someone says no, it's not because like, oh, you're a loser. No, I don't want to do what you're doing. No, nobody's saying that. It's just because it's not the right time, or they're not interested, or, often the no's are not right now, truly, because those people will then watch you and watch your posts, and then they'll come back around, whether it's 2 months later or 6 months later, or even like, I don't know, a year plus later. That's definitely happened to me before. So know that, and having that mindset, if you can hear, Heather said she has all the same fears that so many of the new coaches always will talk about. But she didn't let that stop her. That's the biggest thing. She still took action. And I love the point that she made in the fact of saying like how she's focused on being genuine and being real and really truly branding herself, because that is what you should be focused on, is branding yourself, not branding Beachbody, because there's a bajillion other Beachbody coaches. You need to brand yourself and brand your own story. What are people going to think about when they think about you? Like, what do people think about when they think about Crystal Milligan? They think about busy mom. They think about quick and easy food recipes. They think about, that kind of stuff that gets it done. No, like takes action, whatever. I don't know. You'd be better at answering that probably than I would. But that's how you brand yourself. Like when you're not in the room, when people aren't in the room, what would they say about you, right? And so that's kind of how you brand yourself. And that's what you want to think of. So the fact that she was like, I see Crystal, who's you know, been a trainer for 14 years or whatever, and she's posting videos and stuff like that, and I'm not comfortable with that. That's just not me. That's fantastic, because yes, follow my lead, but it doesn't mean you have to do specifically everything that I'm doing, because she's her own person, just like I'm my own person. So I have my own journey. Whereas like for me, you know, when I first started this, I mean, I did after I had my second baby or whatever, when I was already a coach, but like I came into this and I didn't have a story. So I was like, shoot, like all these coaches who have a story where they can like, oh, I lost my 20 pounds or whatever else. I was jealous of that, because I was like, how am I going to get everybody to join with me? You know, but everybody has like their different parts of their journey, and people are going to relate to you when you share your story in some way. There's people out there like me. There's people out there like Heather. There's people that will relate to and that will be able to connect with. And that's really important to understand. You don't need to be like your upline or that top coach or anybody else. You need to be like you, and you need to share that. And that's really important. Okay, any like tips that you would say as far as like how, you know, you're making this happen? Like, was there something like to do with the new coach training that really stood out to you? Did you dive into that, or did you dive into something on YouTube or the National Wake Up Calls? Or is there anything that kind of stood out to you and really helped you to move forward?
So I try to look, you know, like I said, I have, you know, 2 little kids, which a lot of us do. So I don't always, my time is really hard for me to manage right now. And so I don't always make it, but I try really, really hard. It's like my biggest focus of mine right now is time, to fit in time. Like in the morning, if it's, you know, while I'm like, before the kids get up, while I'm some have, you know, a video, or I catch up on the training from the night before, or I try to look up. There's a million videos from Team Pay It Forward on YouTube. There's so much information everywhere. I also, for me, like what I did was I wanted to say that I had, you know, like inviting like adding new friends. I was like, I have a ton of friends on there. I'm friends with their friends. But then I saw some people like, you know, high school that I don't really talk to that much. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't really want to friend them. They're going to be like, oh, that girl didn't even like me in high school. Now she wants to be my friend. And, you know, big deal. Like if they don't want to talk to me, they don't have to. And now all of a sudden I'm like talking to these 2 girls that I wish I talked to, went back more when I was in high school, because they're so nice. And like, you know, we have like so many things in common that we never even realized that we did, you know? So that was one thing that really helped when I just got over that. What motivated me was that I was like, you know what, this is what I'm doing. I made up my mind to do this. Nobody's going to do it but me. So whether I feel comfortable or I feel uncomfortable, this is what has to get done. You know, if I want what I see other people what they have right now, then I'm going to have to work for it. And once I make up that mind, it's kind of like being accountable for, when I'm accountable for my workouts, like I'm accountable to other people for them. So sorry. So I have to be accountable to them. So it forces me, even when it's 9 o'clock at night and I don't want to do it. Sorry. And I don't want to do it, I'm doing it anyway. Am I sideways? Same thing.
You're sideways.
I don't know why I'm sideways right now. But you know, the same thing. Like if there's, you know, it's the same thing. If I don't want to do it, I don't feel like going on Facebook and doing this, or I don't feel like inviting this person. I don't feel like doing this. You know, I have to get out of my comfort zone and I have to just do it. And you know, when I do, I feel so much better. If I don't, I feel guilty. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I could do more. But when I do it and I see all these awesome results, I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. I should have just done this before. Like, what's the big deal, you know? And it's just, I find myself, I just have to push it. I have to look at what I want my goal to be and just make it happen, as hard as it might be, or as hard as I think it might be.
Awesome. So, okay, I'm going to leave it off as like, I love that, because it really is all about taking action and kind of overcoming our fears and not letting it hold us back. Because if you want something that you've never had, you've got to do something that you've never done, right? And so a lot of these people see the success that I've had or that Christy's had, or whoever else has had or whatever, and they say, I want that, but then they're not willing to get uncomfortable. And here it is, like, honestly, guys, I'm not talking about getting like crazy uncomfortable. Like I said, I started my first year working an average of an hour a day. My second year, I did 2 to 3, and then now I work 3 to 5, and it will never be more than that. And so, like, you know, it is what it is. It's not like you decide how uncomfortable, but you have to take the steps as far as to, was I comfortable posting on social media before? No. Did I think anybody wanted to see selfies of me after my workout? No. Did I want to share that stuff? Not really. As many, like a lot of people don't believe this, but I am not an extrovert. If I am in a small group setting, I am okay with talking to people, and I will be outgoing. But you put me in a group of people and I freeze. I hate being around people that I don't know. I hate being in large crowds, whatever else. So, like, here's the thing. Stop making excuses for yourself and just decide to take action. I'm listening. I think I've told this to like 5 people today because I'm so stoked on this right now. But for my personal development right now, I'm listening on an audiobook to 6 months to 6 figures. And it sounds like it's like all about the money. It's really not. It's really a lot about mindset and a lot about overcoming your fears and getting over yourself and stuff. And one of the things that he said, I'm going to like totally paraphrase this, but you know, most people live their lives based on emotions, and therefore they never get anything done because they don't feel like it. And so, like, this is basically coming back to what Heather just said. You know, she said, like, oh, there's a lot of days where I just don't feel like it. But I decided that I want this, and I'm going to make this happen, and I get it done. So for me, there were often, and there still are, many times where I say, gosh, I'd rather just veg out and watch like whatever on the TV, and like I don't feel like getting on the computer right now, or I don't feel like doing whatever right now. But it's not about feelings, because I made the decision that I have this internal why that's going to push me and motivate me more so than I don't feel like it right now, right? So most people will live their lives based on their emotions, and therefore they never get anything done. They stay in their little bubble, and they are the same. Nothing has changed. You look back 5 years, you know, in 5 years past, and has anything changed in those past 5 years? Often the answer is no. But, you know, successful people focus on making decisions first and then sticking to it no matter how they feel, right? One of the best ways to grow your self-esteem is to do what you say you're going to do. So if you say you're going to work out 5 days a week, and you wake up one morning when your alarm goes off and you don't feel like it, you get up and you do it anyways. And then you feel better afterwards, after you've accomplished those results, and you have that success. And that's what keeps you and fuels you and motivates you to go. But you didn't do it based off of your emotions, because if you were basing it off of your emotions, shoot, you would have quit a long time ago, right? So, but you want that success, and you see that it's possible. So you stop living your life based off of your emotions. And every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, your confidence is going to drop. It's going to wane, right? So when you say you're going to do something, be a person of integrity and stick to your word. Is it easy? No. But will that make you a better person? Heck yes, right? If you're going to do something and you say you're going to do it, then stick to it and do it. Be a person of your word. Own that, and you will have success, guys. So think about that, right? Don't live based on your emotions. Don't be having, we talk about this even in our coach sneak peek. We say, you know, do you want to be living the same exact life 5 years from now that you're living today? Do you want to be whatever it happens to be? You know, no, you want something different, and that's why you're here. So let's just overcome those fears and get over ourselves and start making it happen, right? So we're going to leave you with that tonight. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post below. I know that Heather would love to answer anything that you have for her, and I would love to answer anything that you have for me. And I hope that this really kind of, you know, spoke to you tonight, and you got some good tips out of it, and you wrote some great notes down, and that you're going to take this and you're going to take action from it, and you're going to move your business forward. All right. Thanks so much, Heather. And thanks, guys, on Team Pay It Forward. We'll see you next time.